My friend Jessica and I went to the Fine Arts Building Gallery to not only explore and look at the art pieces, but also try to interpret and understand the pieces themselves. Through looking at the art pieces from Seasons of Melancholy, the artwork emphasizes on the idea of traditional roles, expectation, identity, and self-perception, especially during times of sadness and uncertainty. Walking around, observing the fine details of the art pieces, I noticed that some of them had texture, not texture that came from using various painting techniques, but textures that were placed to show a physical touch to the art. There was a specific piece that had cotton strings flowing along the bottom of the canvas, almost like something wanting to crawl out of it. In 1985, Hajin made the decision to leave China to go to the US, not only to study English, but to also pursue his artistic side. In a way, crawling out of the heavy restrictions, propaganda, and censorship of China, starting fresh. He said, there was the desire for a meaningful existence despite the force that mean to reduce and silence you. Having his initial work being published in English, stating that I wanted to separate myself from the Chinese state power. As a child, I faced my own uncertainties of choosing between the acceptance from Western society and the acceptance of myself, my culture, my differences. As I observed the art piece, I felt a sense of dread. The exhibit was simple and minimalistic, yet very empty. I felt a disconnect between myself and the art. However, seeing art prompted me to create art myself. I am no artist, nor am I good at drawing. But still, I drew. I drew a lion, the one you see during Chinese New Year, and the one I've seen my whole life. Lion dance is loud and celebratory. To me, it filled the crowded emptiness of the exhibit with something I connected with, as an act of stitching my past with my present, giving me a sense of possibility and freshness, refusing to let the culture I once felt distance from to be a meaningless artifact, giving my drawing of the lion soul and presence. Books like A Good Fall or Waiting, Hajin often translated his work as a way to preserve his roots and his native tongue, while making Chinese idiom and expressions more understandable for his Western audience, while still keeping the integrity of his story when translated back into Chinese, keeping them truthful and meaningful to his Chinese audience. Later in the Paris Review, he said, I decided that it's dangerous to completely sever my work from the Chinese language, to cut myself off from my roots. He chose not to assimilate to the Western society, the American society. Hajin transfigures his experience to bridge the gap between Western and Chinese culture. The lion captured that effect, refusing to let culture be a silent artifact.